The past couple of years have been tough for Woodward and Parker, the band I've been playing drums in for 5 years. From 2020 to 2022, we had a studio space we built in an unused room of a house that 3 of us were staying at. We used this space to record our first 2 albums. In 2022, we had to move out and we tore down the studio we built. We continued to write by utilizing other spaces for a time. Sometimes this meant we would all play with a full setup, and sometimes this meant we would just play on acoustic guitars in one of our apartments. Although it was a little less comfortable, we successfully wrote 4 songs we liked and felt could be good for an EP. In late 2023, we took them to a recording studio, the same studio that a majority of the footage of this video has come from. What was originally planned to take 4 days ended up taking us 10 days total, and the process spread out over several months, as we could only all be there at certain times as we went. After some time spent waiting for the mixes, we weren't too impressed with what we heard. It definitely wasn't bad, just not the sound we were ultimately going for. We were now almost a year and a half from the last thing we released. This may not sound so bad to you, but these 4 songs were only roughly 12 minutes of music. The 2 prior albums we released were each more than double that length and were released within a year of each other. This new EP marked a noticeable decrease in pace for us, and we could feel it in our bones. When we heard it all come back, we were a bit defeated, but we've never been quitters. We found a new studio, and the engineer there was adamant we could track all of the parts over 2 days. It certainly helped that for the past few months, we had been painstakingly nitpicking our parts and knew them like the back of our hands. Much to our delight, the engineer was correct, and The Wrench was successfully recorded over 2 days at his studio. We have an inside joke amongst the band where we may have a big plan for a release or a show, and when we get there, some small thing we couldn't plan for goes wrong. Maybe our daisy-chained extension cords get overblown and our guitars go out. Or maybe we were trying to record a live show and one of the camera's SD cards ran out of storage during the first song. Whatever that small thing was, we would call it a wrench. Over the last few years, we started expecting a wrench, and instead of being upset about the inevitable error or failure, we learned to love them. Recording the EP felt like the largest wrench we had yet to encounter, hence the name. The Wrench is an ode to the feeling we have felt many times over the past few years, that no matter how much we plan and practice and rehearse, something can and will go wrong. We've learned this lesson the hard way, and now when something comes up that we didn't plan for, like it always does, instead of throwing our hands up and being upset, we buckle down and calmly deal with it. Some of the problems we solve quickly now, in the past would have thrown us into a panic that would derail the project so badly that our plans would go out the window. A couple of times, so much of what we were working on was not worth keeping that we scrapped the entire project, like the live show recording I mentioned that never saw the light of day. If you are a musician, a creator, or working on projects for work, or even if you just get stressed when following a recipe, I think this mindset is something that can help you. Instead of dreading the wrenches that come from a project or trying something new, try to get in the mindset of expecting that they will come. They are inevitable, and the only real way to get past them effectively is to not panic when they do show up. I think you will be shocked at just how small they will appear when you expect them to be there.